Hello and welcome to the final week of the UFL. We have entered week 10, and with that, we have the second to last edition of Power Rankings for the UFL. The final time all 8 teams will be featured. So before diving into it, I want to quickly say if you are new, subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. Leave a like and comment down below your own Power Rankings as we enter week 10. With all that being said, let's jump right into it. Number 8 is the San Antonio Brahmas. And this team is just a shell of their former selves from last year, and it's a really hard thing to say where they can improve on outside of just a more consistent QB play and the defense. But the Brahmas are just in a very rough spot all around. Kellen Mond got the start in this one and played fine, 54% completion, 103 yards on the day. Sean Corbin continues to play really well as a 85 yards on 14 carries plus a touchdown in this one, but he did have a fumble that led to a scoop and score going the other way. The ground game as a whole played well in this one. The team had 5 yards per carry as a whole. And the defense was the thing that really struggled in this one. Gave up the most amount of points by a team this season so far. Failed to get pressure on both Max Duggan and Brandon Silvers. And normally against St. Louis, you can make an argument that they just weren't passing a lot and weren't able to get pressures that way. But St. Louis was passing the ball quite a bit in this one, and they still couldn't get the pressures that was needed. So it's a tough one. And at one point, this was an 8-point game, but St. Louis just blew them away at the end in the second half. All around, again, this has been a very rough season for San Antonio. They're definitely looking to have a lot of changes come next year. We'll see what they can do. They end the regular season power rankings at number 8. Number 7 is the Memphis Showboats, and this is just another tough loss for this team that has had a bunch of tough losses this season. And they're in a weird spot as a team, but that's something for the offseason to figure out and to discuss. But they just continue to find ways to stall out as a team. This game was tied at 12 out of the half, and then Arlington put up 18 unanswered and made this one a very rough finish for Memphis as they continue to look forward towards next season. But the case is, EJ Perry made the start in this game. Did he play well? Kind of, not really. It was 5 for 11, 89 yards on the day, which was, again, fine, but still not really what you were looking for. So Dresser Wynn came in for relief, and how did he play? Again, he was already been announced to be the starter for Week 10. And how did Dresser Wynn play? It was 7 for 16, 83 yards. The passing game is not where it is. This is coming off of a 36-yard performance from Troy Williams the week prior. The passing game and these quarterbacks, not where it needs to be at. The ground game, maybe they played fine. They were non-existent in this one. Just all around, no one really stood out and played really average in this game. Just all below average performances. And the defense also struggled against Arlington. They gave up 300 total yards. Memphis lost the turnover battle 2-0 in this game. And just all around, they're a really tough team to watch. And that's why there's some rumors circling about right now about what the landscape could look like for next season. Memphis might not be a part of that after 2 years failed in the UFL. We'll see though, at the time there is just rumors. For now, Memphis comes in at number 7. Number 6 is the Arlington Renegades. And it was a solid enough win, but I did expect him to dominate a bit more than what they ended up doing. And yes, there was a 3-hour weather delay, but that didn't really matter. I don't feel it probably should not have mattered as much as it ended up mattering. Luis Perez, he threw fine with 20 for 30, 206 yards and 2 touchdowns, with Tyler Vaughn continuing to have big performances these past few weeks. Day Hunter ran fine enough in this one. Marquette King also got in the action with a fake punt that went for 37 yards. The defense dominated in this one, especially against the ground. They also sacked Memphis 5 times and forced 2 turnovers and an interception that came in the third quarter, which played a factor in allowing Arlington to run away with this game. If this is truly Luis Perez's last season, it has been a hell of a spring football career for the guy who is now deemed the Spring King. And again, it's been a hell of a ride with him. Gonna definitely miss his presence on the football field for as kind of 50-50 as his performances can be. He's still a really fun player to watch. So we have one more week potentially with Luis Perez. We'll see how they play against San Antonio. But yeah, just a really, really rough season for Arlington when they were looking to be a much better team. Turned out some of the same issues from last year reared their ugly head towards these final few weeks, and they come in at number 6. Number 5 is the Houston Roughnecks. And talk about an upset and a thriller. The score at the end of this one does not really tell the full story, in my opinion, for a few different reasons. One, the second half was manned by Mike DeLello for DC. 2. This game was 24-9 with under 7 minutes to play. And 3. Houston had the game won basically, but they did fumble into the end zone on a pretty confusing call with a spread option to Jalen McClellan. And speaking of McClellan, he played really well in this game. 70% completion, 232 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It seems like Houston has found their guy for next season. The ground game for both the offense and the defensive side of the ball was fine for Houston considering they were playing against DC. The pass defense was rough against both of the quarterbacks DC played in this one, but it did force 2 massive fumbles against Javon Antonio in this game, and it got them the victory on top of a massive pick 2 on the opening conversion try, which definitely helped in the victory as well. It's all around, Houston played a really, really nice game, got a big time win, and if this is the last time we have the Houston Roughnecks playing a home game, it was one hell of a way to go out. This Roughnecks team has so much potential, and this brand has so much potential. And it's a shame that this is potentially the last time we're seeing it, but that's a discussion for a different day. The Roughnecks come in at number 5. Number 4 is the DC Defenders. I was debating how to handle DC this week. If I'm being honest, I'm still not fully sure if this is the best spot for them, but it kind of has to be. Listen, DC is a weird team this year, and I've been kind of hiding it the past few weeks just because I still see on with the eye test a team that is a really good defensive team and an offense that can get the job done. But since week 4, this defense just hasn't been the same as what it was last year and what it was the first 3 weeks of the season. Since week 4, they've given up 24 plus points a game, and it continues in this one. Simple fact is, when they can't get pressure and they can't force turnovers to get the offense back on the field, DC is a very, very good team, but not the elite team that they otherwise very well could be. And they just are not doing it consistently enough anymore. The middle 8 of this game, I feel like, showed it best. They gave up a touchdown in a minute time, the end of half to Houston, and then to begin the second half, Houston scores again 12 points, a part of the 19 unanswered that led to Houston's win in this game. The offense is playing fine. They played 2 quarterbacks this week. The offense is playing just fine. The passing game is still going great. But the defense needs to figure this out. It's been since week 4. They've been struggling. Playoffs are right around the corner. If they can't figure this out, they're not going to be playing in the championship on June 14th. I feel like they could figure it out, but I need to see it, especially when they play St. Louis next week. For now, they come in at number 4. Number 3 is the Michigan Panthers. There's a very fair argument to be made that if Bryce Perkins played in this game, the Panthers would have won. And I kind of agree with that. It very much could have been the case. But this injury to Perkins seems to be one that Michigan is playing very, very, very safe with, as the playoffs are already set in stone at this point. My hope at the very least is that Perkins plays a little bit next week before the playoffs actually start, but we shall see. Even then, the Panthers played really, really well with Danny Edling behind center, and Edling played well behind center as well. 59% completion, 236 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Had them mere yards away with under 10 seconds to play in order to win the game. Just couldn't get the job done there. The ground game took a little bit of a step back in this one. The defense struggled against the pass, but they did well against the ground. The big thing was Breland Speaks made his return in this game, even in limited snaps. He was able to make an impact for this Panthers defense. If Perkins can come back healthy and not miss a beat, and Breland Speaks can get back to what he was able to do last year and in 2023 for the Panthers, this is going to be a really, really good team and a really, really tough team to beat in these final few weeks of the league. So we shall see. For now, though, the Panthers, after the really, really tough loss, come in at number 3. Number 2 is the Birmingham Stallions. A real nice win for the Stallions in this one to continue their dominance that they've had over the Panthers. And Jamar Smith had some incredible throws in this game. Multiple 3rd and 20 pluses were completed due to his incredible arm that he had in this one. Just played really, really well. They were 11 for 13 on 3rd downs in this game. Just all around incredible. Cade Johnson had a bunch of great catches in this. Jalen Camp had an incredible catch on what ended up being a game-winning touchdown drive. And just all around, the receiving unit really, really showed out in this game. Cade Johnson, Jalen Camp, and Deon Cain combined to each have over 50-plus yards receiving in this game. I think Cade Johnson had close to 90 in this one. Just an all-around great day through the air. fantastic showing. And the defense, they played pretty well early on in this one, and they made that final stand. But the second half was really just these two teams trading scoring drives for 30 minutes. It still feels like a Stallions team that could either repeat or can be eliminated easily. But really, who knows? It's an any given week type of thing, and that's what's fun about it. We shall see how they continue to play as we get to the playoffs. Still waiting for Alex McGough to make his return whenever that will be. It feels like it's close. But honestly, I think you're riding the hot hand with J.M.R. Smith. We shall see. The Stallions come in at number 2. Number 1 is the St. Louis Battlehawks. And it's about time that they dominated a game like this again. It has been a hot minute. They played a lot of really solid games over the past few weeks that went their way. But this performance showcased another case of the Battlehawks simply being able to play any way they want in order to win a game. This one was a lot more pass happy than what they usually are with Max Duggan. He went 12 for 17 in one half of play, 133 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Silvers took over this game in the second half and played well also, 7 for 10, 100 yards, a touchdown. The ground game was spearheaded by Jarvion Howard and Kavon Latulis, who both had 60 plus yards and a touchdown each. The defense held their own, especially on fourth downs when San Antonio went 0 for 3 in this game. All around, St. Louis just dominated this one, and it was a clean game as well. Only a single penalty going against them, as the real fight is ahead next week as they look to get their revenge against DC, both in Week 10 and in the XFL Conference Championship game. It should be a really fun week next week. St. Louis, they have really hit their strides since losing 2 straight early on in the season. They sit at 7-2 and at number 1 in the power rankings. But there you have it, power rankings for week 10 of the UFL season. Quick little rundown: the Brahmas at 8, Showboats at 7, Renegades at 6, Roughnecks at 5, Defenders at 4, Panthers at 3, Stallions at 2, and the St. Louis Battlehawks find themselves back at the number 1 spot after taking a few weeks off. But there you have it. Again, once again, subscribe if you're new. Greatly appreciated. Leave a like, comment down below. You know the whole YouTube drill. I'll see you all next time. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.